What's going on, guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. I hope everybody's doing well, and let's dive right into today's video. So first up, for RWA.xyz, I got a notification today from Coinbase that real-world assets on-chain have surpassed over $24 billion. So slowly but surely, we are seeing this number steadily climb almost every single month. We can see towards the beginning of this year, on January 6th, we can see in the top right, 16.1 billion. And each month, or month over month, we are seeing this climb, 18 billion, 19 billion, 20 billion, etc. And just to conceptualize this, if we go to January 1st of this year, if I can get there, we can see $15.7 billion. Now, 6 months later, we're going to try to get to June 1st. I think we can get to June 2nd right there. So $23.2 billion. So what that tells us is from January 1st, the first day of the year, 6 months later to around June 2nd of this year, total RWAs, the value on-chain, increased by over 47%. That's crazy. Alright, next up, we can see this shared by Anders, or X_Anderson, the odds of XRP ETFs being approved in 2025 at 95%. Just like he says, I like those odds. So under the digital asset column, we can see a variety of different cryptos, and then we have on the right the firms that have filed S1s already. So we have Grayscale, Bitwise, Canary Capital, 21 Shares, a major issuer, Wisdom Tree, CoinShares, and Franklin Templeton. We can see their filing date for their 19B4, but then this is what's most interesting. The final SEC deadline takes place on October 17th of this year. Alright, next up, we have some big news right from Reuters. So we have regulator orders Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to consider crypto holdings and loan assessments. So this all just happened over the past couple days. We can see the regulator overseeing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on Wednesday ordered the housing giants to consider cryptocurrency as an asset for single-family mortgage loan risk assessments, a move that could potentially open the door to borrowers using crypto investments to qualify for home loans. And this is really big. We have the director right here of this federal housing finance agency saying in a social media post that he had ordered Fannie and Freddie to prepare their business to count cryptocurrency as an asset for mortgage. And he framed the decision as aligning with President Donald Trump's vision to make US the crypto capital of the world. So per usual, guys, not financial advice and believe whatever you wish, but I believe this happens without a doubt. The question is when. And this directive didn't specify which crypto assets are eligible for consideration, but you can likely assume the top 5, top 10 assets, usually just starting with Bitcoin. We also have some really big news that came out yesterday related to Wormhole. We have the company Ripple, the XRP ledger, along with the XRPL EVM sidechain. And at the end of this video, we're going to play a clip that explains Wormhole very well and helps explain why Wormhole will be the core interoperability solution for the XRPL ecosystem. Alright, next up, if you guys haven't seen this already, we have shared by iTrustCapital, the largest crypto IRA platform in the United States, has made a strategic partnership with Next Generation Trust Company. And these are the types of partnerships that can open up the floodgates for a lot more institutional adoption, especially the $13 trillion in IRA assets available in the United States. So we can see that iTrustCapital is going to be providing them access 24/7 to institutional crypto custody solutions and US-based best-in-class client service. And if we visit this link, we can see that Next Generation's branding is going to be right in this URL. So we can see Next Generation has formed a strategic partnership with iTrust. We have their logo right there. And just really good to see this because this isn't some fly-by-night platform. They've been around for years, I think well over a decade. And this is a really big deal for the crypto asset class, and we've already discussed the $13 trillion available in IRA assets in the United States. And with this type of strategic partnership, we have iTrustCapital being able to onboard a lot more of the traditional investors. Those that actually want real crypto custody that's backed by a qualified custodian. They want tax-deferred or even tax-free growth through a Roth IRA. So feel free to check them out at iTrustCapital.com. I've had a crypto Roth IRA with them for well over 5 years now. And all of this linked right in the top of the YouTube video description. Alright, let's dive into the good stuff. So we have Wormhole announced yesterday a partnership with the company Ripple to bring multi-chain interoperability to the XRP ledger and the upcoming XRPL EVM sidechain. Wormhole will be the core interoperability solution for the XRPL ecosystem. This integration will bring institutional-grade interoperability to over 6 million users in the XRPL ecosystem. bringing new connectivity for developers and institutions looking to build multi-chain applications, whether for payments, DeFi, and RWA use cases. Interoperability is a critical need for major asset issuers by choosing Wormhole, a permissionless protocol used by institutions like BlackRock, VanEck, and Apollo. Ripple, the company, ensures it has the best tech to grow the XRPL ecosystem. Among other reasons, Ripple chose Wormhole for its security, its open source code, flexibility, and decentralization. So let's take a deeper look at this with the company Ripple expanding their multi-chain interoperability infrastructure. I think I've done dozens of videos explaining the stablecoin growth and some of the predictions over the coming years, and then in this video I did just show you the growth of RWAs on-chain for tokenized assets. So both of these, stablecoins and RWAs, are obviously gaining momentum. And with this momentum, it's important that financial infrastructure has to evolve to support seamless movement across blockchain networks, especially communication between two different networks. And interoperability between all of these networks is really important, especially for institutional adoption, because they're demanding that digital assets can move securely, safely, and efficiently without added complexity, risk, or liquidity fragmentation. So there are a bunch of moving parts. So related to this news, we have Wormhole, one of the leading cross-chain interoperability protocols, is integrating with both the XRP Ledger mainnet as well as the XRPL EVM sidechain. And this is going to allow on-chain messaging, asset transfers, multi-chain issuances of tokens with a bunch of use cases. And Wormhole enables over 200 applications spanning over 35 plus blockchain ecosystems, supporting institutional products like tokenized assets and stablecoins, and facilitating over 1 billion cross-chain messages with more than $60 billion in cross-chain volume. That's huge. So this is definitely something to keep tabs on, the fact that they're also integrated or being leveraged by firms like BlackRock, Securitize, and Apollo. So what does this integration enable? This basically allows developers and institutions to be able to transfer XRP along with IOUs and even the MPTs on the XRP ledger, those multi-purpose tokens, across all 35 chains. And these transfers can basically trigger or set off different smart contracts on the other networks via cross-chain messaging. And all of this is really just emphasizing a strategic position for the XRP ledger, a flexible, open approach to infrastructure. With support from interoperability protocols like Axelar, with I think probably 55 plus, maybe well over 60 different networks, and now Wormhole, the XRP ledger empowers builders to expand their applications across ecosystems without compromising on speed, cost, or compliance. And if you want to learn more, you can visit wormhole.com, and we have right on their website Base, Uniswap, Pyth. We also have BlackRock right there, we have VanEck, another major issuer, we have Securitize, AMD, Google Cloud, and the list goes on. And we're going to finish up today's video shared directly by Crypto Eddie right on Twitter. Be sure to follow her if you aren't already. So this is about a 4-minute video. And this is a really good video just explaining what exactly Wormhole is.
So what is Wormhole? I think a lot of people that have been in the Solana community for a while are probably familiar. But a quick recap, Wormhole is an interoperability protocol. So Wormhole connects all blockchains to enable value to be transferred between them. That could mean things like USDC, USDS, USDT, Bitcoin, BIDL. We've been talking a lot about RWAs today. ACRED, we've heard from Christine Moy multiple times. Tokenized private credit, that also uses Wormhole. From the meme coins to the biggest and largest institutional assets, everything is using a Wormhole. We've been bringing assets from Ethereum to Solana since the beginning. And so you can see here, and I want to call this number and draw a lot of attention to it. Solana, if you look at the TVL today, the TVL is around, I think, in the 9 billions, which is, substantial in its own right. Since the inception of Solana, we've transferred to Solana, as we now know it, the internet capital markets, we transferred $11.47 billion or value to the chain. And again, those are RWAs, those are meme coins. And I put some additional context here for some of the other players in the space, some of the data I couldn't find. But we are the native bridge of Solana, and this is our home, and this is where we'll continue to bring value to. Wormhole, for those of you who don't know, is the leading interoperability protocol. So we've transferred over 60 billion in value between all blockchains, not just Solana and Ethereum. We've done over 1 billion messages. So what does this mean? Every asset transfer requires a message. You're required to share state between, let's say, Solana and Ethereum. So you can build bridges. Most of us know bridges because you've probably sent money or some sort of asset between two different chains. So in order to have like that financial oil that's going to help everything else thrive on the chain, we have to solve liquidity fragmentation. And we've solved it. So when you think about going cross-chain or taking a token cross-chain, there's a number of ways you can do it. And I think what we've done today is we've offered you a burn and mint solution. So let's say you're just for the first time launching a token. You can set it up from day one, so it's multi-chain, right? It could exist across 5 different chains. You own the contracts so that there's only one version across those other chains. Someone else can't send that asset and create another version on that chain. And then let's say you've already launched a token. Maybe some of you are protocol builders here, or you've issued some sort of asset. There's also a hub and spoke model that's configurable for you to use as well. You as the asset issuer, instead of, let's say, the bridge owning the contract, you own the contracts. So you completely control them. You control upgrade authority. You control all the features we're about to talk about. It is the gold standard for issuing a token across all chains. And then Wormhole's actually built a blockchain. A lot of people don't know this. But we built a blockchain for the sole purpose of having another ledger we can reference for all the activity that's happening between blockchains Wormhole connects. And so this is what we call global accounting. And so when you think about this, what it is at a high level is that every transaction that's happening across Wormhole contracts is also happening on the global accountant. We want to win on technical merit, and we believe the security model we have with Wormhole messaging is the strongest. So if you did want to issue an asset with NTT, you're going to want to use Wormhole messaging. But if you didn't want to, you could be your own signer, right? You can be your own signer for NTT. You could use another interoperability protocol. You could use a restaking verifier if you wanted. It's endless, but the point is that it's future-proof. You own the contracts. If something happened to the messaging provider in those contracts, let's say in the worst case a hack, you upgrade the contracts, remove the messaging provider, put whichever one you'd like in there to continue on.